Donald Trump wants to be your God. Donald Trump is jealous of Jesus, and this is a really easy bridge to build, so let's talk about it. Because this is a deeper psychological and power-driven pattern. And for deconstructing Christians, this will help you see that Trump is weaponizing the very indoctrination that you are deconstructing from. But he's relying on that indoctrination to elevate himself higher than Jesus and higher than God. He uses high holy days of Christianity to suffocate the focus on Jesus. He did it at Christmas when he didn't attend church, but he bombed Nigeria. And then he posted 150 times throughout the day saying some of the most toxic and vitriolic things. And then what happened on Easter? He didn't attend church, and we all know what he posted Easter morning. And even though Christian leaders are giddy about the war with Iran because they see it as a holy war, he could care less about the beliefs in the rapture or Jesus returning or any of that. He is banking on it all being a hoax. You have to look at the context of everything he has said and done recently, because you may say it's unhinged, but it's actually the strategy of an authoritarian who has studied how they have failed in the past and what he can do to ensure he succeeds. And we all know he didn't stop with that Easter morning post, did he? He then went to the children, attending the Easter egg roll, which is for the children. It's family-centered. It's neutral. And what did he do instead? He talked about the bombings, the unalivings, the military destruction. He made political insults about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and turned it into a campaign rally where he led a chant for 4 more years. That event is a ritual. It's a tradition that he hijacked for ego and power. But he wasn't done yet, was he? Then he went to a press conference where he escalated his language. He wouldn't say if schools were off limits. He said the Iranian military was destroyed, but at this same conference, he was boasting about the rescue of a pilot whose jet had been shot down by the Iranian military that he has said repeatedly did not have the weaponry to shoot down the airplane. He repeatedly moves all moral boundaries from this war because he is void of morality. And while the Christians who support him have no issue with that, they are about to find out that they are being played for fools. Because let's look at the connections. Donald Trump is using the playbook of Viktor Orban, who is a performative Christian, to keep his Christian base happy. And there is no doubt that he is destroying democracy and attempting to set himself up as an authoritarian who can never be defeated by his opponents. Who does that sound like? Also, Trump wants Orban's help. And there is this weird relationship with Hungary and Viktor Orban with the Christian Republican Party that goes back years. And that relationship does more than just hint that Orban is helping Trump and the Christian Republicans help build an alliance that set up the same kind of system that Orban is establishing in Hungary. This goes far beyond just Trump, because Mike Pence visited Orban in Hungary and spoke at conferences on family values that centers around Pence's beliefs against same-sex marriage, against abortion, and anything that doesn't center the far-right extremist views of these Christians. And that is why I say you can't trust Christians like Mike Pence, but that's a story for another day. This is all concerning enough, but you also have to remember the praise that Trump has lavished on leaders like Putin and, of all people, Kim Jong-un. The religion of North Korea is worship of Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un pretends to be godlike to force compliance and worship of himself from his people. He then demands that they see their suffering as justified as long as Kim Jong-un remains in power, because they are so blessed to have him as their supreme leader, or so Kim Jong-un says. Donald Trump is envious of Kim Jong-un. This is a man who believes world powers either fear him or revere him, and he will use whatever means necessary to bend our nation and now the world to his power and control. He says ridiculous things like he's polling well to run for president in another country, and even if he doesn't really believe that, he wants his followers to believe it so he can appear godlike. So consider all of this and how terrifying it is. I can't diagnose him. This isn't my wheelhouse, but here's what we know. Donald Trump has never accepted accountability for any of the failures he's had and has never suffered the repercussions from his lack of moral compass. He's void of compassion because he's never needed it. His father picked him up and dusted him off every time he failed. And time after time, he has enough personality to convince those around him that he had more capacity for success than he actually did. And it was usually too late for them to escape his wrath when they figured out he was a liar and a grifter who would use anyone for his personal gain. And now, with the help of Paula White, he has figured out a way to align with Christians who believe he will usher in a new world order that will eventually lead to Jesus' return. My prediction, this will prove to be the biggest grift of all. Because if the Christian God existed, there is no way in this universe that this God would ever put a plan in place that needed Donald Trump to succeed. But indoctrinated Christians are too gullible to see it. And the Christian leaders perpetuating this nonsense have too much to lose to call it out. So, regardless of what happens tonight, what is being set in motion now, it is inescapable that we are about to experience some of the worst supply chain shortages and maybe even complete collapse of systems like water and electricity and the things that keep us safe in our homes. I've said this before, but it bears repeating. I'm neither a conspiracy theorist or a fearmongerer, but you must listen to us now, because we have been telling you that even if Trump were no longer president tomorrow, we still need to prepare for what's coming. At the very least, get dried goods and water and begin to stockpile supplies to keep your family fed. And I know this is scary, but I want you to remember this. One of the reasons they are trying so hard to dismantle our right to vote our leaders into office and to live free from Christian oppression is because they know they are the minority. Please don't give up hope, but hope is actionable. I'll keep showing up here, but you must not give up. I'm not. Now, also, one of the things that is changing is these apps. They are not stable, and I don't know how long I'm going to be seen on some of them. So please follow me on all the channels and subscribe to support my work.